So this is the JBL Pulse 5. Now, one of the really cool things about this speaker is that it has a really cool and dynamic looking light feature. However, in order for you to actually see this light feature, the Pulse 5 has a mostly acrylic body. Now, JBL claims that the speaker is very durable, and they also claim that it's waterproof. However, if you've watched any of my previous videos featuring the JBL Pulse 4, I've always said that you should be gentle with the Pulse 4 for two main reasons. Number one, with my first Pulse 4, it suffered from water damage the very first time that I dropped it into water. Now, JBL was very cool and they replaced that Pulse 4, but ever since then, I've always recommended that you just be gentle with your Pulse 4 if you decide to get one. And also, there's the question of the acrylic body. This is a body that can get scratched very easily, so that's why I usually recommend the Pulse 4 and even the Pulse 5, mostly for indoor use. But today we're going to see exactly how durable the Pulse 5 is. Now, first off, we're going to do a water test and we're going to see if this Pulse 5 suffers from water damage. And we're also going to drop the Pulse 5 from a few different distances so that we can get an idea of exactly how durable this acrylic body actually is. Okay, so first we're going to do the water stress test. Now, the Pulse 5 is IP67 rated, meaning that it's waterproof, as in it can go into a meter of water for up to 30 minutes and there shouldn't be any issues. Now, like I said, with my first Pulse 4, as soon as I dropped it into a little bit of water, it just suffered from water damage. So we're going to see what's the case with the Pulse 5 right now. Now, first, let me just turn on a little bit of music to simulate, hey, we're by the pool and we're having a great time. We've got music playing, all right? Ready? All right, great. Hold on. Oh, still going. Now, hold on. Let me just pause this music. All right, so Pulse 5 has been in the water for 5 minutes. That's a good sign already, because like how I mentioned earlier, with my Pulse 4, the very first time that I dropped it into water, 10 seconds later, you saw the water damage. Like there was water inside the acrylic body and the light feature itself just wasn't lighting up correctly. So with this very preliminary test, it looks like the Pulse 5 does a much better job of standing up to water than the Pulse 4. And you know, that's good to hear, because especially with the Pulse 5, since you have this exposed USB-C port on the back, a lot of people wonder if this thing is actually going to be waterproof if you drop it into a pool or a lake. Okay, so with the water test out of the way, we're now going to do a series of drop tests. Now, one of the cool things about the Pulse 5 is that it now has this little carrying strap on the back. Now, my first drop test is we're going to see how this acrylic body stands up to being dropped from a distance of 2 feet off the ground. 3, 2, 1. Oh no, my Pulse 5. Okay, hold on. So let's see what we got here. It was actually a lot denser than I expected. And where did it drop? Oh, okay. We got a very small ding there. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, that's actually not bad. Okay, but now we're gonna do the same thing, but while we're walking. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, so that drop test was at 2 feet, but this time, you know, simulating as if we were walking. And definitely this time around, the acrylic body is getting a lot more beat up. All right, so we've already dropped the Pulse 5 from 2 feet off of the ground. One where we're just standing still, and another one where we're walking, simulating almost as if you're walking from the car to the beach. But now we're going to simulate what would happen if you were to drop the Pulse 5 from a height of 5 feet. Now for this test, we're going to drop it vertically like this in the hopes that it's going to land on the rubber feet, because, you know, up here and up here, this is a little bit rubberized, and I assume that's so that it can help with impact. So ready? 3, 2, wait, no, actually, let me hold it like this. All right, for realsies this time. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Oh, okay, now the feet took the bulk of the impact there, and you know what? I still haven't seen any cracks, which is actually a really good thing. That's new. I think what we need to do is we need to do like another water test. Okay, so we've already dropped the Pulse 5 in a vertical manner in the hopes that it would land on the rubber feet. And you know what? The rubber feet did a really good job. But now let's see what happens if you were to drop it horizontally. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This is gonna hurt. Oh, yep, that's where you start to see the damage. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely no longer waterproof there. So basically is, oh yeah, no, if we were to drop this into water, it's done. Yep, so basically the weak point isn't the acrylic body itself. The weak point is here, is where these two pieces meet. But what happens if, can we just squeeze this back in? Yeah, we can, but it's not the same. And this one up here is a little loose as well. So you know what? We're gonna do the water test right now, but I will be honest, this acrylic body is doing a really impressive job of, you know, like not cracking as easily. It's not like shattering. All right, so we've already dropped the Pulse 5 from a few different distances, and now we're going to put it back in the water because from that drop that we just did, it looks like the waterproof integrity of the speaker has been broken. So we're gonna see if it's going to still be waterproof or if it's just going to die. Now, let me just get a little bit of music going again. All right, so let's see if it's gonna die or keep going. Oh, you know, I'm very surprised it's still going. Hold on, wait. All right, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised that the Pulse 5 is still going because with that last drop that we just did, you saw that these two end caps, they opened up and you could see inside the speaker. But, you know, I just pushed them back in and, you know, after being inside the water for another 2-3 minutes, it's still going. Honestly, I thought that as soon as you put it back into the water, I thought that maybe like 10 seconds later, you would start to see some water damage. You would start to see, you know, water get inside. But yeah, no, this thing is still kicking. Okay, so now we're going to start doing a little bit more of an extreme drop test with the Pulse 5. So we've already dropped the Pulse 5 from 5 feet while it's horizontal, but that was while I was standing still. We're now going to do this while I'm walking. 2, 1. Okay, so this time we dropped the Pulse 5 from a height of 5 feet horizontally and while I was walking, and again the end caps opened back up, especially down here. This is very open, and I think up here it's a little open, but not too bad. But again, surprisingly, yes, the acrylic body does have some, deep scratches into them. You know, you can't buff this out. But what I'm shocked is it hasn't shattered. Okay, so now I want to see exactly what do we have to do in order to make the Pulse 5 no longer work. So like you just saw with that last drop, the end caps on the Pulse 5 have been opened up a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the Pulse 5 back into the water with the end caps opened up a little bit. Let's see if it continues to be waterproof or if it finally meets its match. So again, we're going to go ahead and play a little bit of music. All right, here we go. Now the end caps haven't been pressed back in, so let's see if water now manages to get inside, and we're just gonna let the Pulse 5 just chill in there for another 2-3 minutes. So again, the Pulse 5 was just in the water playing music for like another 2-3 minutes, and this time around I didn't push the end caps back in the hopes that we would finally see water damage, because you can definitely see there's a huge gap right here and the Pulse 5 is still going. Now I know this is a little out of order, but we're gonna go ahead and simulate the Pulse 5 dropping off of the deck here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so again, you know, we've got deep scratches in here, and you know, the rubber here is a little stained, and again, this end cap is opened up a little bit, but again, there's no shatters, there's no cracks in the Pulse 5, and I'll be honest, I'm very impressed at just how durable this acrylic body actually is. The only weak points are the end caps. Now we're gonna go ahead and just drop this into some water again. Maybe this here is gonna allow some water to get inside. Let's see if we finally get some type of water damage in going or something. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I gotta use my Apple Watch to like pause the music because the Pulse 5 itself doesn't have media controls. Anyways, that's another issue. But again, even with this end cap here being a little open, and with these end caps down here being a little open as well, the Pulse 5 still isn't, you know, suffering from any water damage. And, you know, honestly, I am very impressed right now. So overall, I'm very impressed at just how durable the Pulse 5 actually is. The Pulse 5 is doing a really good job of staying waterproof even after the end caps have come open a little bit. But also, I'm just very impressed as just how durable the acrylic body actually is. Now, yeah, you are going to get some very deep scratches into the body if you were to drop the speaker from 2 feet off of the ground. But when it comes to actually shattering like a piece of glass, that just hasn't happened. So here's going to be one final attempt to actually shatter the acrylic body on the Pulse 5. We're just going to punt it right now. So ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh wow. Okay, finally there's a shatter. So basically with the Pulse 5, this thing isn't going to shatter unless you just punt it. All right, so like you may have just seen, the Pulse 5 is a lot more durable than I expected. Really, the only way that you're going to get this acrylic body to actually shatter is you're going to have to punt it. And it's not an actual shatter, it's really just, it just cracks down the middle. Here, look, I just saw one thing. The buttons are no longer working. These buttons are done. So basically, this thing is gonna have to be powered on until eventually it is no more.